work together. I come originally from Austria, now living in Cologne, and studied in Linz on the art university. That's also where I met first time Jakub, and then our paths sometimes they lead us together and then apart again, and then I think from 2014 on we started regularly doing some collaborations. Me by myself, I'm focused. I'm just not sure. I'm checking one more time if the stream is working.
It should be working.
And so I work very video and research based, and I'm since a while quite busy with one project where I'm trying to find and locate a part of an atomic dummy bomb in the Salton Sea, but maybe later on more to it, so that also talk a little bit more about maybe Jakub's background also, and then we will tell you more about our projects, what we're working on, and then also after about the exhibition we're doing there right now in Ústí.
Yes, so hi, my name is Jakub Vrba. I'm a visual artist, and like as Lukas said, we met first time in Linz, and we started to work together 2014. And
actually it's like also funny, like just now when I think about it, because we were trying to work already in 2009 together. Now it just came up when you said that we started working.
It was
living in Lisbon, but this was, I don't know, it was maybe the first touches in a way that like we sniffed around a little bit at each other, but did not know yet like where could it lead. And then 5 years later we started collaborating.
Yes, that's true, because 2009 this was in relation to the exhibition with together that we did with Pedro. Am I right?
Pedro Enriquez in Lisbon, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So hi, Pedro.
Yeah. No, so yes, I'm a visual artist. I don't know if it matters, but I'm based in Vienna now, and from my kind of background or what I do is like mainly I do comics and drawings, and even, I experiment with video performance and film, and in kind of a broader sense, yes. I don't know if like experimenting applies, but like I work with this media mostly, and right now I also, at about 10 years ago, I was always fascinated with fireworks. I was as a child really afraid of fireworks, and somehow this changed. Like I still don't like New Year's Eve or something like that, but I am very kind of fascinated by this idea of spectacle and of fire and of explosions. So I started to in this fine art sense work with fireworks. Like not fine art sense is stupid, I don't work with them.
But I would also, or at least like how I observe it, it's also a quite fascination what you have about the anti-climax of these fireworks. So it's not explosions or the thing by itself, like it's just more the sad backstory or somehow, or how would you?
Yes, or like kind of a maybe, but also kind of a expectation of a certain of something like looking it's what interests me is exactly like this kind of an anticlimax moment, to make it actually like to go away from this from the really like explosion and this kind of flowers in the sky somehow to something else. And I also I also like the idea, especially in this kind of a baroque fireworks sense, that like that it's something like to have it, to do it in a like a lonely sense, in like if there would be, and there is definitely like some kind of a lonely world, and you do it for like the performances that I did with fireworks were mainly I was doing it without audience, maximally with one person who was actually helping me to in a way document it. Also this, of course, like there is then the audience who sees it if it's a video, but then like yes, I was working with this idea of like taking away the spectacle, the right now somehow of the fireworks, and like being actually there and having these explosions at your disposal somehow. And like,
but I think this was also like one part where I got like very interested in your work, or where I realized when you were showing me like you started like with video projecting in a forest, like I think it was called Wunderschön, I forgot the name.
Yeah, it was called Das ist sehr gut, and it was a projection. The idea was to project forest on forest, and to have like to run the projector. It was used a diesel aggregate, and it was very loud, and there was a person in kind of a put together a tracht, like a traditional clothing from eclectically chosen from different regions from Austria, and was looking at this forest in the night, and in front of him on the trees that were like on the forest was kind of it was possible to project on it, but not perfectly, so there was like glimpses of the forest, and also like glimpses of deers and running around. Yes, and he was commenting it. Yeah.
This was one of these moments where I like got also like super interested in your work, or even more, and then like just I don't know, like a common thing, like I at the same time was more working also with this kind of observation of nature and inscribing myself, like actually I was also filming myself and doing kind of performance. So I don't know if so I was in the Arctic, and there directing a boat which was actually spinning on a lake, and directing it. And
maybe so, do you want me to show it? Because maybe it's
sure.
Either just like to make people imagine what we are doing, and I feel like I still need a couple of minutes maybe to kind of get into talking somehow. But yes, I think it's good to show this work, because it definitely like there was a certain like I like this work also very much, I have to say.
And you guys out there, like just that you're knowing that we are providing now for this live streaming everything by ourselves. So Jakub also has to handle 2 different programs, and also now loading all the videos and photo material, what we will see later on. So it's a quite demanding job. So please be patient with us.
And I'm not very handy. That's what Lukas wanted to say also. And it's
was more. It's not a tool. Here we go now.
Yes, I will play it now.
So I don't know if it is playing already, because I don't see.
It's playing.
Yeah. Okay. So what we see there is like one fjord in the Arctic Sea, like north than Svalbard. And I was working there with, actually I was on a residency with some other artists, and that's where we created this work, or where I created this work, where I actually like started using this vehicle, like it's a kind of a red Zodiac, which brought us every day on land. So because we were living on a big sail ship, and then I used these little boats which are transferring every day as a kind as a brush and trying to play around a little bit with it. And I think it's also very important work in a way to see it retrospective then about the collaboration Jakub and me are having together, because it was this more or less one-man band, one-man performance, or for two persons, like one of us is directing someone, and I think this is also a reason which lead then us together in a way, like to continue working together. And again, so I think, I don't know, you get the idea about like just driving in a circle and me just directing it over radio. And now I think we'll tell like the boat soon has to stop and go out of the frame, and then...
Yes, it happened already, the boat is out of the frame, and there was, like while you were talking, like there was you were giving instructions, one could hopefully hear it also, and and you were also obviously really happy as the you were very like it gave you satisfaction of what you actually achieved, like what was there for a picture, like what actually happened, like there, how the inscription happened into this kind of a landscape, but film actually somehow, like there was.
But then there is the video or exercise number 4, how you called it, from your body of your work, which was also, even without having contact at this time, like also playing somewhere, I think it was in Czech Republic on the countryside, where you were going for Versuch Nummer 4 with these Baroque fireworks, like through snow forest.
Yes, it was indeed, it was like try number 2, which doesn't matter much which try it was, but yeah, it was this, as you were speaking about kind of anticlimax or even like failure, and also then the nature plays in this kind of a moment of trying an important role. Like I will play it, maybe just parts of it to see who like what's happening. In one, like I built this costume with fireworks that you can buy actually in Czech Republic anytime, even without having any kind of license for fireworks. Like I think that's nothing new for people in Czech Republic that it's like that. I'm just making this, maybe the sound needs to be... No, the sound is actually really low because the actual video, like there is no extra audio recording of us talking. And Martin was helping me like to prepare, and it was a combination of like a documentation of performance. Like I used also some cuts because I thought the landscape and actually what picture you choose is important. So somehow I don't have that perfect picture in a sense of like quality of resolution or anything, but it plays anyhow an important role, the picture. So it's not basically just a documentation of a performance that could take place anywhere, but it's important that it takes place in this particular landscape. Yeah. And yeah, it's... I would maybe... No, it's stupid.
Does it also have to do something to do like with kind of failing, or how much it is in your work? Because when I am in my work, also failing also plays a role. I don't know, depends on the work, if it's less important or more important, but just in a way of this perfect performance, or you call it try number 2. Mine, what we just saw was try number 7 or something, but then like I gave it another name in a way to also playing in a way like with perfection, but which is also never really possible.
definitely, like failure plays a role, even though I'm skeptical about kind of giving it a big importance in the work. Like it can easily become an excuse of the actual work if you like say that this was what interests you, was that you would actually fail somehow. Like that's why maybe it was also like I wouldn't call further any videos or documenting a performance or anything definitely like that somehow in this sense, because yeah, definitely perfection plays a role in this. It was important to call it like that, maybe because somehow I knew that every try will be different, because I could never kind of build the same costume the second time. And I was basically just, each try was with a different kind of costume, like if you can call it like that, and it took place on a different place.
Yeah.
So I think that's enough for this one. Let's go back to.
But yeah, I definitely think in a way when you see these works like from Martin is also doing the camera in the back in a way, and then we just found in my quest of trying to also dominate the camera or the camera view, and then we view together, but also want to perform, but it's not possible in the same way. And but this was definitely like one of the reasons in a way why because it's combining the natural workflow of our works and then together in a way. So for me, this is like really gaining a lot of freedom. Also, what I don't allow myself usually when I'm working alone in the moment when we are doing it together. I'm also taking as an artist another role in a way, because we are sharing this whole moment, and it's always like about building up one moment, what we want to capture in time. So it's, yeah, I don't know, find it quite rewarding in a way to having this special time where we creating something together, I have to say, on this place.
Yes, me too. I have to say also, because I also think that what makes our kind of collaborative work like for me special and important is that we kind of found a way to communicate really well and to kind of respect each other in how we work, and I like to be able to kind of to somehow, because I usually everything in like video work, and when I do drawings anyway, I do everything alone, and it's quite difficult for me to it was quite difficult for me to imagine like really sharing this kind of artistic creative process with someone, and with Lukas it works well, and I like to do it repetitively because that's so it's like a unique way to collaborate.
Yeah.
Like was till now, of course it can happen something unexpected and we will end up in a fight, and dramatic moments in life are expecting us. You never know, but right now it's splendid.
It was close already. It was close.
So we are like sometimes in a little telenovela moment but it works quite well. But shall we? What is the best? Like I was like, because I almost started to feel a little bit like pathos now. So I thought maybe it's good to continue, that I would show some of my drawings, because they kind of break it down a little bit maybe, or I don't have them that well sorted, and I don't have that many to show, because I think showing many would be anyway kind of a stupid decision. I will just show some, and because this is some like kind of part of the work that I do also somehow, and I think it's relevant to talk about them in this context of film and video, and of also cooperation with Lukas, because comics, in my way, also how I do videos, as like a certain work with rhythm and time and kind of a setting in scene things, that like comics for me are quite similar as films. Yeah, but I will also show drawings and comics, but only few, because I don't want to flood you with them. Okay, when I guess there will be also some photos within this folder from exhibitions that we did with Lukas together. I see now that there is a photograph from an off space where we were, which was an exhibition called "It Seems Like Loneliness, but It Is Not." Am I right? It's a title of a film and a book of Lukas, and it was a title of our exhibition that we did together, where we were where we spent quite some time to think about how to install it, which was always anyway for us a very important aspect of our cooperation. Also the actual act of showing the work, but is for artists generally, but like, yeah, that just to say that if we do films or videos, we also then see them in this context of a gallery or like of an exhibition. So like it's a different way of putting it in space. Yeah, but let's just let me show you some. Yeah, this is from Pinacoteca, off space in Vienna, and photograph. Sorry that it's so random. I was speaking about drawings and suddenly I show you something else. So yeah. There it was screened, the film from Lukas, It Seems to Be Loneliness, and it is not in the how is it called, this particular space between the houses inside this Innenhof, or I'm just like missing basic English vocabulary to describe this place. Yeah. We built a provisorial cinema inside this place, and there was an exhibition, which part of it was, looked, for example, like that. One piece of the installation view with the book. Maybe you want to say something about this actual film, Lukas? So if sorry that I've just shown these pictures without even announcing them properly, or without us, like, maybe without preparing you that they might come, but I think it's, yeah, sorry.
We're seeing here, actually, it's a good start. So if you see in the back, there's a drawing, which you see a little mountain and some clouds, a person above a forest, and it's raining, and it says the words, does it say Vrba?
It says only Vrba. It's
so,
quite a shitty drawing. Yes.
But I have it at home, so I'm very happy about this drawing.
Yeah.
So in a way, and this was also an entry point for us to work together in an installation or in an exhibition, actually. So how we can incorporate like our two streams of bodies. So I this time had this book called "It Seems to Be Loneliness, but It Is Not," where I was working with actually for the last 7 or 8 years with a schizophrenic person in Lanzarote, and we made a book together. That was the first entrance, and then a documentary, and I just right now finished an installation which I did together with Michael Petri, which we maybe show after some bits and pieces about it. But in a way, it was our try to to show our work together. First time I just have little problems also because of the delay, so I never know which at which moment I'm talking to which image.
I would tell you. I would tell you right now. The image that I'm showing, it's still the one with the cinema, kind of a cinema, this projection place.
Okay.
And I will switch it now. Maybe I will switch it now. I will continue. And now. Yeah, now there is one more picture, and what comes next is it is from a club in Vienna, because when I say like I do drawings, then this is, for example, like this is an example of a like kind of work with the drawings. This is this these sticks that illuminate, like when you break them they light up for 8 hours. So this was kind of for a club that made this cool opening, not cool, this is stupid because it sounds cynical. I mean it was an actual opening of like artists were showing their work. There was also musicians that were playing, and it was kind of a party. And for this occasion there was should have been particular interventions for this club where it would make sense that fine art is in this club, which is always a tricky thing somehow to bring out art out of the gallery to the actual world out there. So this this is a drawing on the wall in a club made with these sticks of some, it's kind of a bit flat maybe because it's some dancing creatures, people that were like for 8 hours like illuminated, and then they were slightly fading, and they were there for the next couple of weeks. Yes. Yeah. Yes, this is another, like to keep just this drawings in the gallery or kind of off spaces. This was another showing of drawings where there was this old school machine, and there were quite a couple of drawings that you could always exchange and put on this machine and see them and go through them, and they were different kinds of them. More were just absurd drawings that don't really address any particular topic. Like they do address certain topics, but they keep it kind of easygoing, somehow critique on everyday routines or like the peripeties of life, and some were just like more concrete drawings about about topics relevant for artists or cultural workers. Because also when like going a little bit away of an actual like art context, it still remains art context. I was doing also like working for a collective that was or like in a way we are still doing it, but now there has been a little bit pause in activities, but I don't see it as a closed chapter. It's called Intern Dinner, and it was about precarious, like kind of a reality, precarious realities of cultural workers and artists, and was like a collective set together from art historians, artists, cultural workers, theoreticians. Yes, and I was for this collective, for their publications and brochures, also doing, and for their website, doing regular comics and the drawings. And this one is, for example, from was a book about an artist residency in Vienna. It's a book from 2014, an artist residency that I was a part of, and it was a complete. Yeah, it was a very, like, there was a certain things happening that within my, like, further also life as an artist, I had to, like, laugh and cry about a lot, and still probably will somehow. Yes, yeah, that's like an example of my drawing. That's the preparing for the video that you saw before. And this is, for example, also like a drawing, an older one, probably already 10 years old drawing, that where, like, I used to publish this because I had quite an output of drawings. I still have probably some kind of output, but yeah, I think just a little bit more about what I do. This is, when I look at it, it looks too kind of like adolescent shit. But still, it's okay. Move on. Yes. yeah, I won't. Yeah, this is drawings, and then always jumps to the kind of pyrotechnic sculptures, or this is preparing another test at my mom's as she was still living in central Bohemia before she moved back to her parents to close to Karlovy Vary. It was a like suburb close to Prague. It was a awful place. Yeah, this is from another video, a still. And with the drawings, I do also fanzines, and this is one example of like a fanzine without text, which was basically a book full of drawings of this kinds, using showing some miracles of nature and other of other kind. That's also that picture is a quite recent, I would say, of a series of, like, I was doing a collaboration with a painter that's painting marble, and I made a series because I don't paint. I do these drawings, but I'm not patient for painting, and I also don't understand that well how it works, because it's quite difficult. In my point of view, of course, like it's makes total sense. But I made a series which is more like, I see it more as a drawing with colors, and it's called the Van Dyck series, where I'm still on it somehow. I'm painting the Van Dyck pictures over in my, like, I do my interpretations of the Van Dyck portraits of nobles mostly. This is one of the pictures on the right, and Konrad, who's standing next to it and reading, is reading a text like that he wrote about portraits in the Baroque era, and also, yes. Yeah, then this is an example of a comic. They are usually short, mostly one-page comics that describe certain moments. Like these ones are the older ones. They are more kind of crazy happy. Okay, I'm always waiting a little bit because I think maybe someone would like to see it, and it takes some time, but I can't really judge how much time one needs to see a comics and kind of enjoy it, or like if you don't like it, just look away. Okay, this is also music. I could play some music to this. I don't know. It's like, yeah, just imagine some music you like is playing for you. Yeah, I just skipped this because, yeah, I think that's kind of enough. Like, I would say to the, like, to have an impression of the comics. They are kind of always like this, a little bit like simple drawings, because what I'm interested in is a kind of a message, rather than like the aesthetic aspect doesn't have to be worked on so much, because it has to be the shortest path from the idea to the actual image. Yes. Okay, so let's get back to the Yeah, so now we are back. The images have all been shown, Lukas, that I think was now, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So we are going back then to the next collaboration from us, or you think I should just also introduce like one of this, like this work I was mentioning before?
I think it would be good now, after I flooded this with some of my drawings, that you would talk about the work of yours. I don't know with which one would you like to introduce the atom bomb work, of the.
I think I would do this in a. I don't know how brief I can do it, but I try to also not take too much space here. I will now start sharing the screen with you and also showing you some images and then explaining a little bit about this whole process of the search of the atomic bomb in the Salton Sea. So you just can tell me if it works, and you're seeing now.
Yes, it works.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Not yet. I have to open it back here, so then it's better. It still works, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what we are seeing here is a Google satellite image of the Salton Sea, which is in southern California. So you're having here the border between the United States and Mexico. Here is the Pacific Ocean. Here's Los Angeles, where I'm with my mouse now. And here's the Salton Sea, which is one of the most important food growing or growing of monocultures in the whole US. They provide around 2/3 of vegetables and fruits during the winter time. I'm working there already since quite a while, like it's now more than 4 years or 5 years that I got introduced to the area by accident. And then I was just fascinated about the whole history and story which this one place brings with it. So we have in here the Salton Sea, which is around 40 to 50 kilometers long and here 15 kilometers wide. And it's actually also the biggest inland lake of California, which got coincidentally by a mistake, like it got created. Like we see here the Colorado River, and in 1903, there was a very strong winter. So from the Rocky Mountains, all the melting water was coming up, and then the dams, what they were using already in the 1903, 4, like then it broke because it was too much water and flooded this area. So there was like just a flat sink, and then it flooded it, and from there on it took a quite big path through the whole military history. Then some entrepreneurs like started in the 60s already to making lots of water skiing, boating, and Frank Sinatra also supposedly was to hang out there and had property. So it grew really quite important and famous recreation area, as it is also only around 2.5 hours away from Los Angeles with the car. So, and what happened then is a sort of catastrophes, like several ones, and the biggest one was from the whole food growing, like all the pesticides and the fertilizers, like they just got directly unfiltered in the sea, because the sea is an endorheic sea, what means it has no in and no outlet. So everything what comes in the sea stays in the sea. And now it stayed a little bit too long, and then in the 80s it started collapsing. So all golf courses, it was actually in the late 70s, got abandoned, and so all the houses also around this Salton Sea are more or less, or the cities are abandoned, because they had one of these massive fish dying, where more than 7 million fish died in on one day in 1990, what I read in my research. And so you're coming to a quite dystopian area. And then the first time when I was there, like I did not know what to respond and what to do. So I want to do something with it, but I did also not want to show like just all the rundown houses and all the this dystopian landscape. So I started first work. What we see here is an image of the All American Channel, which is actually supporting the whole agriculture around the Salton Sea with fresh water. And then I was going with the drone and scanning this whole river And then also like these basins, what they created for the whole watering and fertilizing, and then just scanning over and over like this immense landscape in a way. Like, so it was like just the first touchdown, where I not even did a touchdown because like actually everything is filmed by a drone, and just mapping out the area. And after I was done with this work, I was still just clicking quick. So what you see here, like the last image of the film, where just I think it was a vineyard, which they then just in the moment when nothing grows anymore, or like something is dead, it's dead. Like it just moved to the next hill and start replanting. It's faster and cheaper, and that's how they treat all their surroundings. Or lots of big companies there in the southwest of the US. And then I continued working on this topic and started collaborating with the Center for Land Use Interpretation, which is based in Los Angeles. And there's a very interesting community which is mapping out actually the whole US and looking for irregularities in a way, like they're mapping out all golf courses, and then also, for example, like just measuring or researching how much water they take, and then giving it back to the public. And there also one artist, Steve Batchett, he built together with his colleague Chris this vehicle and for scanning the Salton Sea actually. And that's where what was when I heard that they're on the Salton Sea during this Desert X Biennale, was super excited, and they invited me that I can stay with them on the boat and actually look for these sunken atomic dummy bombs, which are actually also one next or the biggest part of my interest right now in this area. So this is in the Salton Sea. The target, which is a wooden platform, which was used in 1944, 1945 for bomb practicing the atomic bombs for Fat Boy and Little Man. And they dropped around 170 or more than 170 of these test atomic bombs on this target in the water and one target on land. And I use this historical background and this research as a motor for me, like to continuing with my research, and actually I'm planning to wanna find one of these objects, these relics from another time. So then my first attempts, these are some abandoned bird nests, like some after the fish die-off, also of course a bird die-off came. This was first time with Mr. Clifford, a high school teacher there at the Salton City. Our boat burned down, so we had to carry it at 45 degrees back to the street. That's some other remote camera sites which were used for filming actually these bombing tests in the 1940s. This is professionals also filming it, like from the Lookout Mountain Laboratory, which were the main company run by Hollywood, or a side studio of Hollywood at this time, which were giving the whole nuclear documentation its own look. In a way, they were in charge for basically all these images, what we have in our mind when we're thinking about atomic explosions from the US. That's like a dropping out like one of these dummy bombs in 1944. They're on the Salton Sea, and I'm looking basically for one of these eggs, bombshells, or whatever is left from it. So, and then here we have like the Enola Gay, which is the airplane which ran the flight on Hiroshima and dropped a little boy. And this is a shooting what they prepared, also everything like with the crew of the Lookout Mountain team, which is also like, I can not go as I should, like, I think I'm already going too much in details, just to shorten it a little bit, like also just actually the infrastructure around this whole thing. So we saw the wooden target, then 1,000 miles more north, also around 1,500 kilometers north in Wendover. I also found like one of these loading pits. That's actually because the bombs were so big, they could not load it into the airplane directly. So they had to build this kind of pits. So I also made a little residency there and examined like 3 of these still existing pits. I was visiting and making video work, which also works with what we see here is the text from a publication they did in 1946 also, which was distributed to all of the American air bases, Air Force bases, to build, like, tells you how to build atomic bomb loading pit, which was crucial in a way to prepare for nuclear warfare. And this I'm using as a voiceover and subtitles for the film. That's a 10 minutes work, where it's then about the construction, the abstraction of the pit by itself. And we're back here at the Salton Sea, where we are seeing again this temporary lake explorer platform, which was really very interesting also to be there. Like, we were leaving Steve, this is Steve and me, for 10 days on it at every wind and weather condition, and just got hammered by the wind that you cannot move anymore. The anchor, so you stay there just for 20 hours in one spot, like you don't film, you just look for a little bit of shelter of the wind. This is the side scan sonar. This was actually the machine we were looking into the ground and looking for irregularities. There is some remains of the bomb. So like, these are some shadows, could be something. So we marked them and probably will revisit them for the next part of the project. This looks like a huge bomb being ranged, are tilapia fish nests from earlier times. So it's like, just looks like something, but it's something totally different. Like, it's just a huge breeding area. There, we found something. I also don't know what it is, but for sure not an atomic dummy bomb. Then we found some other target in the water which popped up because the lake is actually losing water. And in 20 years, the lake will be totally empty, though then for me it would be easier to find the remains of the bomb, but also it's the most polluted area in California, where they're having also the biggest child asthma rate, as they're having such toxic winds and dusts from all the fertilizers and pesticides I was talking before already, and now they're getting exposed to the to the air. Sorry. So one more time, a photo where we can orientate ourselves a little bit. And this is then a next work, what I did. I just lost my voice, I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
So, and I'm already coming quite to the end of it. Where I was actually working more, it's a photo film which deals a lot with the historical facts, what I was researching, and then they will be spoken during out the film in a way. Yeah, so, but I think it's too much to go now into. It's like very nice distortion and playing around with the panoramic function of the phone and creating as a third movie now, or third film on this research, like just really touching base and talking a little bit about the circumstances of the whole area and the conflict, what they're in on ecological and economical way. Then coming back to the palm fields, what I was filming before from the air with a drone, then walking through them, and that's also then the end of this one video. Here for the end, see Vanja Smiljanic, which is my last partner, and we were last year, actually in March exactly at this time, or a little bit longer already than a year, at the Salton Sea and looking at this is the land target where we're also dropping these atomic bombshells. And then we actually found 2 sites where we found already some parts of the bomb. So we definitely will go back and find more of them, or also doing a excavation we're trying to do, and working together again, if possible, with the Center for Land Use Interpretation, and using it maybe for a documentary, what we want to do about this subject. And right now we are talking with some specialists which are analyzing parts here, what they can recognize and trace back, like that is definitely parts of this very dummy atomic bomb. So that's where I'm right now, and it will go on in way to maybe once excavate one of these bombs or trace it back and find it in the Salton Sea. So now coming back to Jakub and me, I guess, or I don't know how much time we have left. See,
yes, we can. We don't know. We don't have probably that much time, but I guess we, yeah. Well, we could.
So maybe showing a little bit more of, or snips and pieces of the Wunderschön und ruhig gelegen, the work we did in 2015 or finished in 2015.
That's also part of the exhibition in Ústí, also in a sense, because it's screened on the fog in one of the windows. Also, it's actually the first video installation and also a film that we did, like ended up also to be in a film for cinema viewing, like at least one channel of the installation. And
so what we actually did is for this putting a fog machine, like we're having in Ústí in the exhibition space, like there are these double windows what you can close, and we put a fog machine in there and fill up the entire space of the window with fog, and then we're projecting a work of us on this fog, and this is happening on an, I don't know, like twice a week, or 2 days a week, 3 days a week.
2 days a
where
week.
You can see.
Yeah. Yes.
But what I actually realized now, like I knew this one work where you were working with the what's Zündschnur, like the.
Yes, just with the fuse, basically. I think it's called fuse, just a long fuse. You mean?
Just to remember now, or like was super nice to see, like also these installations you did, or performances where with these light sculptures, light drawings, which are switching themselves off, or like this fuse line, what you like in the Westerns, like you just lighten it and then they lighten forever. So Jakub did another piece of that, and then also now having like together like this first try on creating an immaterial projection screen and projecting our work on it, which for me is quite exciting, because Jakub and me, in a way, we are also trying to, we're very much aware on which bodies or which screens we project. So for me, this was quite a highlight also to find this way now of projecting on this immaterial way. So I like the connection, actually seeing it in your work now also, again, in a way that it is.
Yeah, I think it's quite a kind of difficult because of the pandemic situation to see this particular, probably like to just easily go to see it, and I don't know. But I also think that, yeah, like some, like that this the way to show this particular content also on a fog projected works, it is was a good decision, and it's definitely worth to see, and like an extension of like what, like of expectations also, like of this, because I don't really see that much the connection with the views, but yeah, of course it has a smoke or like a fog, but maybe I'm just like standing on my I can't that much
no, like this temporarily in a way, like, because for me, of course, I knew about it, but now I see it in another light, so that I'm also involved, and we made this decision together in a way to feel the whole thing and projecting on the smoke what we wanted to do also for this commissioned work we did for the exhibition. Like there's another one in the summer cinema which we did. But then, like, just having it, I think it's the time frame actually for an installation, for a sculpture. So it's like
okay.
Visibility only at a very specific moment for a short time. So you're having 1 stroke, 2 strokes of the fog machine, and then the image appears quite fast and then slowly disappears again. And having like there also the very own life of this work, what I like.
Yeah. Yes.
Unfortunately, we don't have any images or themes.
The images of the actual in House of Arts, the projection of. I made some screenshots, but of the live streaming, because this was also like but. But I think, they are not that. There is the live. No, they are, but there is actually this live stream on the Facebook page, or probably also somewhere else, of the House of Arts, as there from the actual opening, and I guess there will be also soon some photographs from because it was documented the actual pandemic opening, and. So I guess there will be also a way to kind of look it up a little bit, how it was, how it looks, without actually necessarily going to see it in Ústí, which is the best, because the exhibition is also set up in a way that we wanted kind of not like to enter the virtual space, but to really work with the actual space of the exhibition space of the House of Arts, what it has, how it interacts with the surroundings, and
which was quite a challenge to think now in this pandemic, first creating this work, and then also thinking like how can you make an exhibition which should be a physical exhibition, online representable, but basically nobody has the chance to go there at the opening days or weeks or months, we don't know till now. So
Yes, and also for this exhibition, which there was I don't know if it's like the right way to call it. Is it like a commissioned work? If you
we definitely could call it a commission, because it always came like with the invitation, like when you got the invitation and then asked me if I can and want to join. It was always about the new work, and then we also have the chance to exhibit it then there. So
yes, which was perfect, and I was very happy about this invitation to and also about this idea to do actually this, and and we did it. It's there. It can be seen on the screen, and I'm not gonna take the temptation to show it now, because I think this would be ridiculous, like to show it now in this discussion and talk about certain particular moments of the film, or of this kind what happens. I think it's really worth to see it on spot, and it's kind of a how would you describe it? I would say it's kind of a tour through this area of the cinema, of the open air cinema, which open air cinema and
I think it's connecting definitely architectural film, experimental film, with something like Baroque firework film in a way, in one, if there is like a niche like that where we are trying. But I think like a tour is quite the thing in a way, giving a tour through this very I don't know if you want to explain or if shortly what the historical facts or something about the summer cinema, which we have chosen, which was built in the 50s, as I remember. And it's a summer cinema for more than 14,000 people in Ústí, which has a population of 100,000 people at the time. So quite unique utopian idea to provide like this space.
Yes, yeah, exactly, like a very particular, like it's always difficult when I say like a film that is like in a way a guided tour through this area, like it's of course not meant, like it's meant in a way that we are kind of trying to interpret it in a like in this artistic sense, but we definitely not like it as it was commissioned, and we both are not that super familiar with the place, or were not. I mean, we spent like this just basically the shooting there, and of course we made some certain, I wouldn't even call it the research, like a little bit preparing, like knowing where we are going in a way, but we don't share this experience of the place, and we kind of very fast found out not found out what we seen, and what was for us or for me was very strange. And particular what I also like about our cooperation with Lukas, that we are kind of ready to adapt on this on the place, and like to ready to kind of kind of to face what actually where we are and what's happening. Because I was like, by preparing it, I was very surprised that in this kind of a pandemic situation, we were given access so easily to such a huge infrastructure. Like basically we got the park keys for 1 week, and we could do whatever we want, which like was a little like what I was very surprised, because I thought like that the city basically will take care of the fact that it doesn't want to close a park like a public space so easily in this particular time, also because this public space is one of the spaces you can actually spend time, because there is no social like that much of possibilities to for social life, or like to spending time actually apart from working. And yes,
so it was also a little bit problematic in the moment for us when we realized, okay, we're taking this space now from people which were then trying to go back into the space and using it as they're used to, and then we just have to say, sorry, it's closed, can you please leave? So
but it was also for me it was very this I found really like a really dealing, or somehow it made me actually happy that it wouldn't even stop the people to use the public space if the door is locked. Like there were certain people that were actually really the ones that use this space, that it's part of their routine, and it was not always this routine was you could definitely not pin it up as like the kind of like only by some people that are like alcohol addicts or something, or easily how this would be pinned up, I guess, in this context, that you would just say, okay, these people are outcasts, they just need this place to hang around because they are not flexible to change their habits in a way. And I wouldn't say that. I think it was kind of, this made me like, this relaxed me a little bit, that to see that there is certainly people, and it was also that are using this place anyway, that just like, yeah.
But sure, at the moment we told them like, please go, even they wanted to use it, then they actually left or partially left. So I don't know, it felt not the most, for me at least, comforting thing to do.
No, definitely not, no. But all, yeah. And but yes, I found like, just to speak not about the actual work but about this cinema, about the whole place, I find it really beautiful. But I think maybe it's this idea about the place that actually is like a kind of a mistake in the system, that it's so big, and this kind of infrastructure it's not broken. It's all basically they're ready to start anytime, like a big show, but there is no show. But also no one is kind of doing anything about it. It's just maintained, and I think when I'm saying there's no show, it's not like a comment to the actual situation. Like, of course, right now there is no show, but like even before, for a longer time, it was a highly underused place. And what I want to underline, I think that this is like, this doesn't bother me in a sense. I don't even think that places need to justify themselves by being all the time in use, like as if this place would need to be to justify its existence, that there would be films running every day. I think it totally justifies its existence as this, with people just like drinking beer and looking at the empty projection screen and empty stage in their free time in this park. I think this is already very kind of a magical possibility, exactly like in this like world that we live. And yeah.
I think this is also, I think we're screaming already now more than 64 minutes. A very good point to close the stream, or to finish in a way. At least I don't have much more to add on your last words, and just wanted to thank one more time House of Arts, and especially Stefan and Bara, who helped us so much and made this possible, and of course to you, Jakub.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I also don't have anything more to say. Thanks for watching us, and sorry for some delays, but yeah, you should say. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye, thanks.
Bye.